Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy. It's my pleasure. It's always an honor to be out in nature and always greeting you, bringing this message of emancipation to you, whereby I'm pointing you to look no other place but to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. Thus, the reason why I want to speak to you today concerning how your word is your wand. And there's a writer by the name of Florence Scovel Shinn. She would have written a book called Your Word is Your Wand. And to be honest with you, I would have never read that book before. But I believe I would have listened some recordings, some audio book I believe I would have listened long time before concerning that. But based on the way I look at the Bible, I come to realize that everything is actually in the Bible when you learn that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. And that the Bible is not literal, neither is it secular history. And that also the Bible is written symbolically. And from Genesis 1 to Revelation 22, it's all a great psychological drama, and it's all about the human psyche. Now, all of that gives me the inspiration to understand when it is said that your word is your wand. So I'm going to simplify it for you. Now, it is very important for you to know that you are a magical being, and that also the Bible is a book of magic. Thus the reason why I have an Amazon, a Bible called 66 Books of Magic, the Overcomer's Bible. So it is very important for me to explain that to you so you will understand even more why your word is your wand. Okay, also, we all came from a magical land to have a human experience here. And when I say that to you, I'm speaking from experience because I would have had a spiritual journey into that magical land also, which I wouldn't go into at this moment. Now, when you realize that a word is a thought expressed and that you are a magical being, you will realize that your words can be either destructive or creative, because a thought is a vibrational frequency, and the brain is a receiver and a transmitter of frequency, vibration. And as I would have said before, everything is energy. So all is energy, vibration, and frequency. Therefore, your words, when you speak your words are thoughts expressed. And in the Bible, in Isaiah 55:11, it says that my words will not return unto me void, but will accomplish that which I send it to and prosper in the thing whereto I send it. It is teaching you that your word is your wand. It's your magic wand. It's what you use to create. Also, it is teaching you that you are the creator, and you are beholding the creation when you see the manifestation of your desire. Also, it is teaching you that you are the perceiver beholding your perception. That's the reason why, my brother and my sisters, when you look at your physical body, you're seeing the expression of the spiritual you, or the spiritual body. And that is to teach you that everything that you can do with the physical body, you can do it with the spiritual body. Now, we all have 5 senses that we operate in this 3-dimensional world. Therefore, when you go into the world of the spirit, you can operate in these senses and manifest your every desire. So you can see, you can taste, you can touch, you can smell, you can do all of these things when you go into the spiritual realm. And how do you go into the spiritual realm? To prove for yourself that your word is your wand. Matthew 6:6 tells you that you have to shut out this 3-dimensional world by closing your eyes, because your eyes are the gateway to your soul. And so when you shut out this physical world, you go into the spiritual world by looking within. And when you look within, You got to learn to see things through the eye of imagination or through your mind's eye, getting into the sixth sense. And when you get in to that realm, it is said that you are to speak to the Father who is in secret, because you have now entered the closet. The closet is your secret place of imagination. That secret place where you speak inaudibly, where no one can hear what you are saying. But that being that is within you, which is your real self, your true self, your higher self, your Christ self, will hear you, and your wish is his command. Thus the reason why you have to understand how important it is for you to recognize that the Bible is your spiritual autobiography that must be interpreted psychologically. And how your name is I am. And that's the name of God also, I am. From generation to generation, it's all a memorial. Therefore, you can never say I am and not referring to yourself. So every word that is in the Bible, it is teaching you that your words or your thoughts is what is creating your reality, and that you can create your reality consciously. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That is why when you read Exodus chapter 3, which I would have just quoted a while ago concerning the I am, where it says I am that I am, it is saying that I am whatever I believe myself to be, for as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So my brother, my sisters, you have to be now more responsible for the words that you speak, because the words that you speak tells of your thoughts. It's the expression of your thoughts. And the things that you would manifest in this life is also an expression of your thoughts. So your outer environment is a reflection of your inner environment. So where you live physically means also where you live in psychologically, where you're living inwardly. So there's an inner world and there's an outer world. So what you speak in the inner world would express itself in the outer world. That is why self-talk is very, very important. You have to know what kind of inner conversation you're holding with yourself, and be conscious of your inner conversation each and every day, because you have the understanding that your word is your one. That's your creative power. That's the power being given to each and every one of us that make us higher than the animals. We're given mind and speech, and so we can use our mental faculties to create what we so desire in this world. And we also are the ones who can create make images in our minds and come to hold those images that we once had in our mind in this three-dimensional world, and understand when the Bible says, and the word became flesh and dwell among us. It's when we can contact those things physically that once was seen through our mind's eye, and it was just being imagination. And that's how you come to realize that truly God is our imagination, the creator in everyone. And when St. John 1:3 tells you that without him there isn't anything made that was made, and that all things were made by him, it is not speaking of a man who existed 2,000 years ago. It is speaking of the inner you. It is speaking of your imagination, teaching you that everything in this world, it was first imagined, it was first a thought, it was first an idea. And that when you read of the Christ, when you read of Jesus, I should say, it is only a personification of the human imagination. For Christ is an experience, and when you have that experience, you discover your higher self and come to realize that your word is your wand, and you can create your reality consciously, because you are a magician and you're here to practice alchemy, and you can change your reality to how you want it to be. So with that being said, my brother and my sister, I believe I've given you a whole mouthful there. There's a lot for you to chew upon, and I hope that you would make sense of everything that I've been saying, and that you would not just be a hearer, but you would be a doer by putting these things to work in your life and prove that what I am saying is not theory, but it is practical when you put it to work in your life and prove it for yourself. That is why it's very important for you to write down your desire. And then when you manifest it, you realize that your word is your wand. So with that being said, my brother, my sister, I just want to say to you, if this is the very first time you're listening to me and it's very interesting to you and really resonating with you and you would like to get more of this kind of teaching, I would say to you, if you haven't subscribed already, to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share this video. But before I leave you, I just want to remind you that this message I bring to you, that it is the single eye, yes, the single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says that if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And to be honest with you, my brother and my sisters, hadn't it been that a single eye would have opened within me, and I would have experienced what it means to be light, I would not have been here bringing this message to you. For it wasn't until I would have experienced a great and mighty shaking, and I would have heard the unearthly wind, where I ascend like a fiery being and burst my crown chakra and came out from the skull and had the real true virgin birth, had the experience of the true resurrection, and come to understand that this is the cross on which all of us would die. Hadn't it been for that experience, I would not have known that I would have come to my Christ self and want to share this Christ consciousness with everyone in the world, and come to understand also that this is the gospel, which is the good spell, because every word that comes from our mouth, it's a spell. So again, it's teaching you that our word is our wand. So you can cast a good spell by uplifting humanity and being a value of humanity, and encourage people all around the world to look inwardly to discover that their real identity is their divinity. Or you can use fear to keep people controlled through the educational system, the political system, and the religious system, and so on and so on. Okay, so with that kind of experience, my brothers and my sisters, it's the reason why I always remind you and say to you, do not let anyone ever brainwash or deceive you by saying to you that the eye above the pyramid and the US dollar, that is an evil symbol. No, it is the symbol of the all-seeing eye of God in you, who is your imagination. For you would have an awakened imagination, and you would come to realize that the eye represents the eye of the mystics, the eye of the prophets, those who are the seers, who will go beyond humanity and come into their divinity. They will go beyond the brain and come to realize that they are not the body and that they are not the mind. They come into their divinity. That's the reason why I'll put my hand right above my crown chakra and say to you that when you have the experience of which I would have just described, that you will come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N, and that it is the dawning of a new day in your life. For truly, the sun parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, there is no life, and there is no light. And without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And you're told in Psalms 84:11 that the Lord thy God is a sun and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. And truly, the sun has never withhold any good thing from humanity. For the sun is what powers all of humanity and gives all of humanity its energy. Therefore, even Malachi chapter 4 verse 2 tells you that the Son of righteousness shall arise in you with healing in his wings. So you see, righteousness is a discovery, and that discovery would allow you to bring healing to the rest of humanity. That's the reason why I always bring healing to all of humanity, by encouraging each and every one to look inwardly and to use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your God power, your creative power, which is actually the sexual power. Use that power to achieve your every desire and prove for yourself that truly your word is your one. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.